We have several critical CVEs. Say that sentence in an executive meeting and watch what happens. Eyes drop to laptops. Someone checks their phone. The meeting moves on. Now say this instead. This issue could disrupt online ordering, expose customer data, and delay the product launch. Same finding, completely different room. Welcome to episode 4 of Boardroom Ready, chapter 4 of the book and the start of part 2, Translating Security into Business Outcomes. Part 1 built your foundation. Now we turn it into influence. In this episode, security as a business resilience function, not just a defensive one. The 5-step translation model that turns a threat into a decision, what executives actually need from you, and 3 tools from the toolkit to make it repeatable. Let's get to work. Here's the reframe this chapter demands. Security is not only about stopping attacks. It is about keeping the organization capable of operating when pressure, disruption, or compromise occurs. That means protecting the systems, data, processes, and trust relationships that let the business generate revenue and serve customers. And that changes how you sell it. A boardroom-ready security leader does not ask executives to care about security because it is technically important. You show how security protects what the business already cares about: sales, operations, customer confidence, regulatory standing, strategic growth. Resilience also widens what counts as security work. Detection matters because it shortens disruption. Response matters because it caps the damage. Recovery matters because it restores revenue. Even communication is a resilience control because confused organizations make expensive decisions. Present the program this way, and every investment maps to keeping the business running. Think about what actually scares a CEO about a cyber incident. It's not the malware family. It's the week of downtime, the customers who leave, the regulator who calls, the deal that dies in diligence. When you anchor security to those outcomes, you stop competing for attention and start competing for investment. And you compete well, because resilience is something every leader already wants. Now the model. The practical translation path runs in 5 steps. A threat leads to business exposure. Exposure creates operational impact. Operational impact affects financial or strategic outcomes, and that brings leadership to a decision. Accept the risk, reduce it, transfer it, or avoid it. Run any finding through those 5 steps, and you move away from fear-based language toward decision quality communication. The vulnerability isn't the story. The story is what it exposes, what that disrupts, what that costs, and what leadership can choose to do about it. So what do executives actually need from you? Clarity, not complexity. They need to know what could happen, how likely it is, what it would affect, what choices exist, what action costs, and what inaction could cost. Your job is not to overwhelm them with every technical detail. Your job is to create enough understanding for responsible decision-making. And remember, a strong risk statement helps leaders decide. If your message only describes a problem, it is incomplete. 2 traps to avoid. First, don't assume executives are uninterested because they don't ask technical questions. Silence usually means the issue hasn't been connected to the business clearly enough. That's on the message, not the audience. Second, don't make fear the main argument. Fear may get attention once. Credibility earns repeat support. Here's the chapter's real-world moment. A CISO briefs the executive team on a vulnerable customer-facing platform. The first instinct is to lead with the technical truth. We have several critical CVEs on the platform. Accurate and instantly forgettable, because nobody in that room owns a CVE. Instead, the CISO explains that the issue could disrupt online ordering, expose customer data, increase regulatory exposure, and delay a planned product launch. 4 sentences, 4 things that room actually owns. The conversation changes immediately, from patch statistics to business continuity and customer trust. Same vulnerability, same urgency. But now the executives are discussing sequencing, funding, and customer communication instead of asking what a CVE is. That's the translation model doing its job. The technical condition became a business decision. And notice what the CISO did not do. dumb anything down. The CVEs are still there for anyone who asks. The technical evidence stays ready. It just doesn't lead. 3 tools ship with this episode, and together they cover the whole translation path. The Executive Risk Translation Worksheet, Appendix C, converts a technical finding into operational, financial, reputational, and regulatory impact statements. The Risk to Outcome Map, Appendix D, is a one-page map connecting each security risk to the business outcomes it threatens: uptime, revenue, trust, compliance, strategic execution. And the Executive Risk Statement, Appendix E, is the concise format for the conversation itself: risk, impact, options, recommendation, decision needed. Use them in that order. Translate the finding, map it to outcomes, then write the statement you'd actually say in the room. All 3 are in the community, free. And here's the checkpoint. Can you take a technical issue from an analyst, an engineer, or an architect and turn it into a business-level decision brief without losing accuracy? That last part matters. Translation that loses the facts isn't leadership, it's spin. Action steps for this week. Choose one current security concern and write its business impact statement. Map one risk to revenue, operations, customer trust, compliance, and brand. And rewrite one technical risk update as an executive decision brief. Don't leave this chapter with an idea, leave with an artifact. Here's the bottom line. Cybersecurity is a business resilience function. Executives need risk translated into impact, options, and decisions. Revenue, operations, trust, and compliance are stronger anchors than technical severity will ever be. And your influence grows exactly as fast as you make risk understandable and actionable. Commander's intent: translate cybersecurity risk into business language that executives can understand, prioritize, and fund. By now, you should be able to explain how security protects revenue, preserves trust, and supports resilience for your organization in your words. All 3 translation tools, the worksheet, the map, and the risk statement, are free in Cyber Warriors HQ on School. Join the free tier and download the whole course toolkit. The book, Cyber Warriors, Boardroom Ready, goes deeper on every model in this lesson. And subscribe. Next episode is about money. Links below. Next episode, Building the Security Business Case: Why Every Budget Request is a Credibility Test, the 9 elements of an investment story executives remember, and the 3-option pattern that turns pressure into decision ownership. That's episode 5. See you there.